Hi, good day, welcome back to TREBONS. So we're with Jim and Jam and Kumara's litter, or Jimmy as a caller. They're 10 days of age today, and we're starting to get to a critical stage because the competition's getting more and more fierce with the puppies. So what I've done now, today, I've taken 2 puppies from Jam and put them over with Kumara, and you'll see why in a minute. They're pretty keen. The development of the puppies is a little bit ahead on this litter than on Kumara's. I'm going to stop them from feeding for 5 seconds. Hey, sorry, Tingle. So you've got the eyes coming open here. Eyes are open, and it's nail cutting day today, and this is at 10 days. And this is the reason I've moved 2 puppies over, because from now until another 12, 14 days before they get into solids, the competition is going to increase all the time. The puppies are quite strong, but they're moving around quite a lot, and they'll be competing for the mother's tip all the time now. And that will increase. That competition will increase as they get stronger, as they grow. And I like a competitive litter, but there's no need to have it over-competitive. Something like I just want to handle it. This way there's less pressure on Jam. And this sort of age range now between 10 day and up to the 24th day is where the mother starts to come down on the puppies because they're pulling on the tip and everything else, and she starts telling the puppies off. This is where they learn manners. This is her first litter, so I don't know how she's going to handle it when they start pulling on her and everything else. So that's why we've moved 2 puppies over to Kumara, and you'll see the difference between the puppies in a minute. So that's what we're doing here. So they're all feeding, they're all doing well, they're all over 1 kilo, so they're all doing well at 10 days. Now we're going to have a look at the Kumara litter, and our little couch potatoes over here. Here we go, you stay there. So here's the Kumara litter, and they are definitely bigger than Jam's litter. That's because they've not had to compete. So you've still got the eyes shut there, and the nails not quite ready for cutting. And they're the same age and basically the same DNA. And the reason my feeling is that they're not as developed is because there's less competition. So when we put the Jam over, here we go. He's over here to compete. He's got his eyes open. Definitely needs his nails cutting today. The hanging's going very well, but it's to stimulate competition in this litter, more competition. They're all good on the touch, but these need that competition. So why do we need competition? Saw in the first video when I was picking up the puppies, there was absolutely no reaction really from this litter compared to Jam's. And it's like the adrenaline or endomorphines or whatever. I mean, they're more used to that chemical reaction that goes on when something strange happens. With this litter, they're not so much because they don't need to. Everything's on tap to the land of milk and honey. But now we've got competition. We have to fight for it now. We have to get in there. See, we don't know how to. And that's what we're stimulating now. And that's what we're doing. And then the question is, does it all actually work, what we're doing? Or is it just very nice videos? Through the handling and everything else, we can get a result. In the first, when we moved up here last year, we split up our puppy program, and the first litter we had was we said, okay, we're just going to concentrate on sociability. And then come the puppy test, top marks in sociability. The second litter we had, we're just going to concentrate on the noise. Again, top marks on the noise, a little less on the sociability. And then the third was about exploration. And again, top marks for that, a little less on the others. So this time what we're doing is bringing everything together. So we sort of proved that when we're focusing on one point, we can definitely do it. And now we want to bring the whole litter up on all those 3 things. But does it actually work? I believe it does. I think what we're trying to do is not aim for a high drive, but a balanced drive in the dog. The drive is the excitement level. And what we're trying to do is get an evenness, a balanced drive. because a balanced drive we can work with. We don't want the high drive. My thing is the breed's not ready for it as a whole to have a high drive breed at the moment. It's far, far too early in the breed's development. That's something that comes along later if there are people that are interested in developing it. And I'd say it works. I'm going to put a couple of results up now, links, and you can see like in the early stages how well it was working, and that was in our early stages. And this is against the dogs, we're competing against dogs that are selected for drive, selected to be working dogs, as are couch potatoes, as we are often told, and no good for anything. And yet, this year, French Championship, we have a couch potato. That, I mean, for a working kennel, it would be a fabulous result. For us, it's just absolutely extraordinary. That not only competed at the French Championship, did extremely, extremely well. And that's a huge competition for all breeds, not just the BERGER Blancs. It's going up against working dogs from all breeds. And did very well. Overall, 8th at the French Championship and 2nd on the day in the competition. So that's a pretty strong indicator that what we're doing is working, I feel. When you're comparing it to going for high drive or going for an overall balanced drive, which is what we're aiming for. Because a balanced anybody can work with. And depending on how good you are at training your dog, you can extend it further. So that's what we're aiming for, and I think it's starting to prove positive that it's working. As I say, what we're seeing here is we've got 2 Kumo's litters puppies being pushed out here, and this is the competition that we're developing now, because they need that competition so that we can work with it and get a better result, I feel. This competition is good, and all puppy handling that you're doing is stimulating competition. Everything is based on feeding. And it's an actual progression once they are onto solids that we use the solids to stimulate the puppies to get them to do it, interact, etc., etc. And as I say, there's 3 things we're aiming at with the puppy program. First is sociability, then we have curiosity, and then we have the sound, which is the unexpected, not just sound, but the unexpected, the reaction to the unexpected. And that's the difficult one. The curiosity you use with the sound, etc., etc. So they get used to when they see something and they instead of backing away, they might back away a little bit, they come back, their curiosity takes over. Because to me that's the key, is curiosity. If you've got a dog that's curious, it's going to be naturally social. If you've got a dog that's curious, something strange happens, it's not going to back away. It's, oh, what's that? It's going to go up to it. And that is the key, my feeling, and that's what we continue to aim at, is to develop that curiosity. But it starts with a level of competitiveness as well, where they can handle the sudden changes, and this is basically a sudden change. Here we are, we're picking up the puppy, we've got adrenaline pumping, what's going on, and it's the way it copes with it. So here we cope with it, all goes strange, and now we've settled down again. And that's good now. So that's what it's all about, it's just learning to cope with those chemical reactions that are going on in its own body, and then using it. And that's imprinting or conditioning at a very, very, very young age, and it will hopefully push forward for the rest of its life. It's part and parcel of the dog now. And this litter we just need to make a little bit more competitive, and that's why we've moved 2 of Jan's over. It eases the stress on Jan, because this is a very critical age now, because of that competition. And as I say, these guys are at least 2 days behind Jan's, even though they're born at the same time, and basically the same genetics. It's just a lack of competition. We have that lack of development going on. So, that's the video.